What's going on, everybody? And welcome to my channel, Superpower Review. It looks like I already messed up today's because everybody's supposed to be in the back, but you know what? Hey, whatever. It's Saturday. I'm Kevin Dean for Superpower Review. Welcome to another live stream. This is What's That Comic Book? This is everybody's favorite comic show in the community. So to anybody who is new to the channel and doesn't know what that comic book is yet, pretty much I hang out with people from the YouTube comic community, Instagram comic community, and we randomly pull comic books for a straight hour, and we try to give as much information about those comic books as possible, rather who wrote them, who did the artwork on them, or why is that comic book in their collection, why does it mean so much to them. So to anybody who is also watching on the rewind, don't forget to smash that like button. That would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here to the to the show, and if you want to see future What's That Comic Book live streams. Guys, we have a fantastic show today. Look at this beautiful, gorgeous panel we have here. I don't think we've had so many people here in a long time. We usually keep it about to like 4 people, but we have a full panel tonight. Let's go start off with Sector 2815, and then we'll move it down. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Okay, I am Sector 2815. My name is Paul Cook, and this is, I think, my 3rd or 4th time, I believe, on your
I can't
channel.
remember.
So, yeah. So I'm hoping to get like a badge when I get to like 6 or something.
I'll have to start creating those.
Like the 5 Timers Club or whatever, you know.
Yeah. And then we also have Erol. Erol, why don't you introduce yourself as well?
We have the Sinister Six today.
Nice.
It's appropriate.
Where's the Sinister Six? Who's who?
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm Vulture.
It's a Vulture. We got Paul as Scorpion. We got Kevin as Hey, Mysterio. How's that sound?
Okay, all right. I'll take that. I'll take that.
All right. My name is Erol Molnar. I've been a collector for probably over 25 years. I love the hobby with a passion. I started collecting as a kid. I grew into it more of the.
We lost him.
No.
Wow.
You know, adore the collecting. And SpiderMan was probably one of the things where I kind of into, which I love the most. But in retrospect wise, like the community wise in here on YouTube has been so good. It's been so like inviting for everybody as far as like, you know, these gentlemen here we have today. So it just makes it really fun to collect and to share what we have with each other.
Cool, man. Dan?
What's up? I'm Sticky Goose, aka Daniel NRL, and I'm happy to be on the show, man. I'm a first time person here, but I want to kind of piggyback on him, man. The comic book community, holy shit! I mean, you guys are awesome. Like, I mean, I can just jump in here. I've never talked to you guys, met you guys, and I just feel like I'm just home. I'm like, you know, we're among friends.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just as easily to escape into the YouTube comic community as it is in a comic book, right?
Absolutely.
Cool, man. PJ?
Hey, what's up? So my name is Paul. PJ, as the funny story about that is we call my son is PJ. That's who we call PJ. No one really ever calls me PJ, but people online, because that's my IG handle. So Paul or PJ works. But I've just been collecting comics a long time, about 40 years.
Wow.
I just love the books. I don't look at it as investing or all that type of stuff. I just like to collect runs, and you know, I'm a Marvel zombie, so that's pretty much the extent of my collection, Marvels.
Cool. Very cool.
And I appreciate the invite to be on the show, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Reaper?
My name is Anthony. My channel is Reaper Tate 728. I was invited by Kevin. Very nice of you to invite me. Thank you very much. And I'm first time on this channel. I've been a fan of comic books since the Tales from the Crypt TV show started on HBO.
Wow.
And it took me a couple years to get into them. But I would say my first love in comic books is definitely ECs, followed by X-Men and SpiderMan. And those are the series that keep me going. I always look to upgrade and add more to my collection. And like what Errol was saying earlier about the YouTube, when I make videos, it really helps me appreciate the hobby even more. Going through your collection, making certain videos about certain types of books, whether they're Golden Age or Silver Age or Marvels or whatever, it helps, I think, a collector appreciate the hobby even more.
True.
Touche, man. Well, gentlemen, one more time, I want to say thank you to everybody on this panel for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you are not familiar with these gentlemen, you guys can go in this video's description, check out all their social media, their YouTube, their Instagram. All the links are in this video's description down below. Show them some love and support. These guys really put awesome content on YouTube and on Instagram. And Reaper, I just want to say, because you're on the show and this is your first time, I want to say you've been on YouTube for maybe six-ish years.
Wow.
About that, yeah, about maybe 6, 7 around there.
Because I want to say I've been subscribed to your channel since pretty close to day one, and I watch you pretty religiously. I know what you have in your collection, so I'm expecting fire from you, maybe possibly, but no, seriously. When I like get ready for the mornings, for breakfast, or even when I start my day at work, if there's a notification from you, you're the first person I go watch. So, just to have you on the channel is a pretty big deal for me. So I really appreciate it. So again, to the gentleman here, thank you so much for taking the time to nerd out with me. And to the community, let's say hey to some of the community, and then we're going to get started here. We got my good buddy all the way over from England, Jason Parker Comics. Love you, dude. Thank you so much for coming by. We got VP in the house. We got Paul. We already know we got Paul. Hey, Paul. We got Morbius Comics. What's going on, man?
Hello,
and we also have Remy Q Studios in the house with the $3.99 super chat. Thank you so much for the support, dude. We got TJ the Slab Dragon Watson. TJ, when are you going to come in the show, man? I'm dying to have you on the show. I know you usually work on Saturdays, but I will switch What's That Comic Book just to get you on, man. If you tell me what day you have days off, and we'll make it happen. Just sub 2 new channels on the panel. I'll hit up IG afterward. Thank you so much for doing that, Remy. Really appreciate it. All right, so let's get going here. Again, 1 hour of pulling comic books from the collection and giving as much info on them as possible. And Paul, you are starting us off, buddy.
Okay, I'm going to go with a comic that I just recently picked up. This is Flash number 123, written by Gardner Fox, the art's by Carmine Infantino. The reason why I like this book so much is because I think this book is incredibly underappreciated. Undervalued, whatever, that's for other people to decide, but I think underappreciated. Because this was the first time that you saw another Earth. So this was really, this was the thing that opened, that took the bottle, took the top off the genie, let the genie out. If this book doesn't happen, you don't have, this changed the comic industry. You don't have all these different Earths. You don't have the new SpiderMan movie that has all the, the heroes and the villains from all these different Earths. This is the book that started it all. So this book really changed the comic industry. And so I really think it's underappreciated in a lot of ways.
Really, really cool. I really like too that this cover both features both Flashes. I mean, I don't think you see that very too often. I'm not a huge Flash guy, as you can tell, but no, it is a really cool cover to see them both together on a cover.
Yeah, it was the first appearance of the Golden Age Flash in the Silver Age. So yeah, it was so important to to the comic industry as a whole, and it just kind of open up the floodgates. From there you had a million different Earths, and basically nothing was out of bounds anymore.
Now, did you mention that was the one that you just recently got?
Yeah, this was I got this actually from Shortboxed. It actually, sorry, no, I got this one from Shopbox. That's right. So it was a really good deal. And like I said, I just love the book. I'm trying to complete my Flash run from 105 on. So
Very cool, very cool. I haven't bought anything from Shortbox yet.
What's your experience like with that?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Shortbox is just kind of like a lot of different, they're just kind of the intermediary between, two parties, right?
They're the middle
and
guy.
when I bought this book, when the book arrived, it was the wrong book. It was a totally different book than the one that I had bought.
No,
but I emailed them. They quickly replied. They sent me a new shipping label. They contacted the guy who had the book, and I had the book within like a week afterwards. It was just the guy put the wrong book in the wrong box. That's all. It was an honest mistake, and they solved it like that. So
we have a question from Morbius Comics. What year is that issue?
It is 1961, September 1961.
Wow. Very cool. Very
That's
cool.
Silver Age? That's the book that Sheldon Cooper had in the deposit box. Remember that book?
Yeah.
Hard to forget.
Cool. All right. Errol, your turn.
You guys want a big one or you guys want a small one?
I had a dime for every time somebody asked me that question.
I wasn't going to go there, but Paul did. Thank you. Cheers to Paul. That was fantastic.
Let me find something. Hold on. I'll kick it up with this one here.
Oh.
Nice.
White pages.
It's PGX, so that means it's a CGC 6.0.
Was that a Bob Storms purchase?
No, this is actually from Comic Link. This book, this book was on Comic Link for so many years. I think I purchased it like 2 or 3 years ago. It just sat there, and I kept on looking at it, and I said, you know what? Sometimes I know PGX is given a bad rap, and I get it. You know what? There's a lot of stuff going on towards it, but you know what? Sometimes people lucked out on the grades too, and where this one obviously was done. I think it was 2006. It was graded, so it was never pressed. So just looking at the book structurally wise, I know it had a potential to maybe go higher. You know what I mean? Even if it stays the same, I'm fine with that. So for me, wise looking at it, I said I'm going to take a chance at it. I'll get it cracked, next year sometime. Resubmit it to CGC or even CBCS, have it pressed and cleaned. If it comes back higher, they know it, then all the better. But still, the book was going for cheap back when I bought it. But like I said, it sat there for so long. Jack Kirby's special with Ditko. You know what I mean? So you can't go wrong with these books, like especially with Spider-Man books from the Ditko era. There will always be everlasting books out there that's going to surpass any other books that you can name of, because these books will always be a classic. As far as like the low run for Ditko books, like this is just like the pinnacle to it. So
single issue Ditkos, you can't go wrong, Errol.
You can never go wrong. I tell people that for years. I said, if you want something that's really has this, like let's say, as far as substantial amounts, as far as like not just the stories, but just the history towards it. Like these books, as far as the rogues go, as far as like for Spider-Man, you can't get any better than Spider-Man or Batman. Either one, you can't go wrong with. And with these ones here, these things will outlast the day of time. These books.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got to crack that.
Yeah, let's liberate that bad boy.
I got a sandwich maker. I'm gonna press it through there. Then by the time it's all finished,
look at Paul. Paul's itching to crack it. He wants that label. Yeah, he wants that label in his collection.
Add it to the stack.
Wow.
I'll tell you.
PGX is in here.
I'll take it out for you.
Very cool, man. What a fantastic grade to have that book in. Holy cow.
It was cheap. It was cheap when I bought it. It just sat there for years. I go, why isn't anybody grabbing this? So I said, I might as well bite the bullet and say, you know what? I'll take a stab at it. Then maybe I'll luck out and get it maybe 8.0. I don't know. Maybe. So if it does,
or even if it stays a 7.0, that's a great. Yeah. or even it turned out to be a 6.0, it's still good. Regardless, it's a win situation, Errol.
Yeah, for real.
I bought it for a few grand. That was it. So
how long ago?
3 years ago.
Wow.
It's a little more than a few grand now, Errol.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I was lucky. Yeah, I was like, you know what? Sat there, so I said, you know what? I'll be the lucky guy to buy it, so might as well.
Yeah.
Unruly, thank you so much for coming by, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Very cool. Wow. Well, we're starting off the show with quite with some bangers already. So just wanna let you guys know there's no award for the show today. There's no winning in this show, right? So you don't have to. There's no competition. But Dan, you got some pretty big shoes to fill, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm not on that Silver Age kick. I'm super modern. I'm super modern. This is Aaron and Ribic. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down here?
No
Is it
idea.
a Thor book?
Yeah, it's a Thor book.
God of Thunder.
This is Thor,
Oh,
God of Thunder number 2.
Mhm.
That's
First appearance of Gore the God Butcher.
Nice.
Anybody read this run?
Yeah.
yet?
That's really cool.
So
Fantastic.
this is going to be the new Thor movie coming out. I think it's Love and Thunder. He's going to be the villain.
Cool.
Yep.
This is probably the best Thor stories I've read. Now the Donny Cates stuff that's out now is fantastic as well, but this is metal, man. Like Gore's just his why he is what he is, his origin story. Man, if that is what they use in the MCU, man, I mean, there's so many takes on that. Religion, spoilers here, but Gore kind of calling out to the gods for help, and they fail him, they forsake him. And you got incredible art by Ribic. The art style in this run kind of changes, but this is the book. This is the key of the run. This is kind of a 9.2, 9.4. It's a high grade. I don't think I'm going to submit this. I don't really submit books if I have like a complete run, because I want to reread them potentially. I bought this whole run together, and these first 6 issues, this is fire.
And he's Christian Bale in the movie, right? Christian Bale playing him, I think, right?
yes, he is.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a book I need to get.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed. The single issues are kind of getting out of hand. I bought the whole run for around $500, which this book I think alone is fetching like $250-ish. Nice. So if you can get it, if you don't want to swing it, I don't think there's an omnibus for it yet. I would have gotten that, but I think there's trades. But
How do you see him, Dan, as far as like longevity wise in the
I think they'll kill him off. I think
Something a Metallica album.
Yeah, I think he'll be a one and done. But man, this is a super interesting thing and something they haven't really done yet. Have they talked about religion? Have they talked?
No.
I mean,
It's a taboo subject.
that is,
yes,
yeah, taboo, yeah.
because of what they've done, they whitewashed the ancient one because of the China situation, and I'm like, okay, so I mean, they're willing to do that. I mean, are they going to just completely get rid of his origin story, because it is so crucial to his origin that he was forsaken by the gods, and he's lost his family, he lost his children, he's lost everything, and man, to have that kind of motivation. I mean, what's our other villains? Thanos' motivation, very powerful.
I think to butt in for a second here. Yeah. I mean, being a huge Venom fan, I think he's going to be a really huge key and possibly connecting the whole Null story with the MCU and connecting Venom and such, because he has the Necro Sword, which looks like a symbiote, forms like a symbiote. It's black and goopy, looks like a symbiote to me, and so that was also connected in the
Good point.
and the Donny Cates run too. So.
And his origin, I think Null's like technical first appearance is in this run as well. I don't think, do a lot of people know that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, not a lot of people actually know about that. So there is like it's very, I don't know. People will say the first appearance, or there's like a cameo appearance, but there is talks about it. But It was just like one of those things that the author came out with, and I feel like Donny Cates was like, I feel like that's kind of a plot hole. Like, what can I do with something like that? Like, maybe I can use this to my advantage, maybe, or something. So, I don't know.
I don't know if anybody's seen the Eternals, though, but to butt in for a minute. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but was there a lot of because in the comics they kind of have some godlike
That's what I was super excited about.
Did they reference that at all in the movie, or
no? Like and that's why I think Eternals in the comics was so special. Like, I mean, that was like the source material, and when that would come out in the 60s, damn, can you imagine like how like, controversial that shit is?
Mhm.
I mean, it would be crazy. And I mean, you're talking about the creation of man and like the creation of these different species and like, oh my God. And like, you're not being created by a God, or by God, you'll be created by these beings, these celestials. Whew.
I haven't seen the movie yet. I feel like when it maybe comes out of the theaters or where I can stream it, I'll give it a watch.
yeah?
We got the low grades. What's up, dude? How you doing, man? We got Legion of Comics. What's up, buddy? How you doing, dudes? Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. Paul, it's your turn.
All right, so I was under the impression I'm just going to try to keep it random. I thought that was the main theme. So
Yeah, you can keep it random. Yeah.
to be fair, this is the box of some of my better books. So let's see what we got here. We'll grab this one. Man.
I just got back issues, so. Whoa!
So Daredevil 1,
Oh,
which was a slabbed 5.5 that I
Of
crossed out.
course he has the label.
Let's take it out of the top loader.
Wow, that's
So,
nice.
Yeah. Needless to say, Daredevil's one of my he's one of my favorite characters. So
Cool.
I'm
great
very
grade.
happy to get that book.
I picked
I'm
up
sorry?
a Daredevil one this early this January at a flea market. It's a 1.0, but I got that book before I got a little bit crazy. But so did you bought it slabbed and you cracked it?
I traded for it slabbed, yeah.
Yeah.
With the intention of cracking it out when I got it. So it just
I'm not
you know
shocked.
what it is, honestly, with the slabs, because I'm kind of a run collector. I hate when I have one random slab and the rest of my run is in one of these boxes here, and it's you got to keep the slabs separate. I started at one point getting a bunch of slabs, obviously, because I have all those labels. But I started to notice after time the books that my slabs are in like their own box. I never looked at them. I never it's almost like they weren't part of my collection. You know, to really appreciate the books. I tend to go through my collection a lot. I know some guys, I guess if they're all about that investment, the books, they have safe deposit boxes and all that type of stuff. I mean, and I've got some books that are, potentially valuable, but I just like to have them near me. I'm always going through the boxes. I'm always digging through them. And so
you're enjoying them.
Right.
Right. I mean, that was our,
What a novel idea.
At the time before everything became an investment and everybody wanted to get rich on comics. But at one point we just were all fans of the characters and the stories and the art. And we just loved to look at the books, that was what we did. So I try not to let the financial aspect of it dictate or change how I am, I guess, basically.
Funny thing is that I remember in 2012, I was hunting for a lot of Silver Age key books, and Daredevil was like the bottom of the barrel as far as character. Nobody wanted
Doctor Strange.
Yes, nobody wanted it. I'll tell you what. I bought 2 books. I bought Daredevil #1. I paid $400 for a mid-plus grade book. It was like $400. I still have it. It was almost like giving it away. Then I bought a Strange Tales 110 in 2010 in January. I got a tip from one guy who I was in contact with. He says, "Listen, pick up a Strange Tales 110. It'll be a book that's gonna pop." I paid $400 for it, and it came back to 7.0 white pages. So it's
Nice.
it's just. Who would have known how much prices would be today? No one would have known.
Yeah.
Especially there you go. Especially over the last year and a half.
Hey, put that back up.
It's not a 7.0, but it's
Gorgeous.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
4.0,
That's a
4.5
beautiful book.
maybe. It's in nice shape.
That's a gorgeous book. Beautiful.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange is pretty cool. I was a big Ditko fan, like a lot of us probably. Well, Errol obviously is still on that Spider-Man bandwagon, which Spidey's a great character, obviously. But so when I was younger, though, that was my first favorite character, and that was at one point early on, like late '80s, I had Spider-Man like 2 to current, which then was about issue 388 or 89. So never had a 1 or an AF-15. But anyway, so my appreciation and love of Spidey at that point made me a big Steve Ditko fan. So that got me onto Doctor Strange, which after a while got me into all his Charlton work. I used to have a lot of Tales of the Mysterious Traveler, Unknown Worlds, a lot of the Charlton Ditko books I used to collect as well.
Now, Paul, I got a question for you. So when you're holding up these books, are you holding them up in the CGC Mylar that they're already in? Am I seeing that right?
No, a recent kick I got on was the clear boards.
Oh.
Usually what I do on these my better books, there's actually 2 boards, one in the front, one in the back, like a sandwich, and then I slide it into my right. So it's pretty tight and firm, but it's
those are good
like
for
I can
cones.
open it.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's a really good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah, I like
That's
the clear
pretty cool.
boards. They're a little pricey, but they do help to kind of look through the books without having to slide it in and out all the time.
Yeah, totally. One person that I believe they gave me the book sent me a book with the clear backboard. I've never seen it like in person before. I'm like, man, like I messaged the person. I was like, man, you're ready to start a whole new OCD phenomenon here. Like, I'm ready to go buy all of these clear backboards, go through the whole comic book collection.
All clear boards. They're figuring that up, man.
I'm just thinking like, I would really like to see the backs of my ASM 300s without taking them out.
You're killing me.
Let's see. A couple more comments here. Unruly Simeon. Nah, you got to Uncle Scrooge over your collection every now and then. Totally. Totally. The low grades. I picked up a beat up DD1 as well. It's at CGC, but it's probably 1.0, which is fine by me. I'll take what I can get with books like that. Absolutely, dude. You know what they say.
Better than no grade.
That's right. Thank you, sir. Clear boards. Yes. We got
curious though. Every time somebody, like a lot of times, it's always straight to CGC with the books though. I'm just curious about that. Is it just a pure financial move, I guess?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people really like the look of their prized book in a CGC case with the grade on it. I mean, maybe it is more of a financial thing, especially now with how the comic market has been. I mean, I'll show it to you when it's my turn. But there's a book that I have that's raw that I haven't slabbed it. I've recently been thinking about slabbing it, but I've had it raw for a couple of years now. So, all right, let's get to Anthony. Anthony, what do you got?
Well, I do have one picked out, so it's not random. Sure. And I picked this one out because it ties into what I said earlier when I introduced myself on why I'm in comics and why I enjoy them so much. But here's one you don't usually see too often, but is a prized piece in my collection.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Wow.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know, this is the first appearance of the Crypt Keeper and the Cryptid Terror.
Beautiful.
Again, it's not something that pops up too often. When it comes to EC fans, they tend to hold on to their stuff. I don't think it's necessarily rare, but again, it's not too common. I said that this is really important to me because I started having an interest in comic books when the HBO show started. I watched the very first episode in June 1989. And when the Crypt Keeper would open up that book and it looked like comics, I said to myself, these were comic books? And then about a year later, I went to the local comic book shop looking for Tales from the Crypt, not knowing they came out 30 years earlier, 40 years earlier, whatever it was. I was handed a reprint, the Gladstone reprints at the time, and I was hooked. I started collecting all those Gladstone reprints, and then a year and a half later, I got into the superheroes. So it really starts with this, but it was took such a long time to find it. It really did.
How long?
Years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I would have grabbed a restored 1.8. I couldn't find a restored 1.8
Yeah.
until this one popped up on eBay several years ago, and I made the guy an offer, and he took it, and he had a couple others, like the first Vault Keeper, which I eventually got, and all that other stuff, but that was the first to arrive out of the.
Would you say, Anthony, it's pretty much absorbed in a lot of collections where they don't want to release them because they're so hard to come by?
Yeah, the ECs especially. Well, that's my experience, especially when it comes to Crypt Keeper, Vault Keeper, Old Witch. The EC fans are very passionate. They're not as mainstream as a lot of the other fans, like with Marvel, and everyone wants, even especially today, everybody wants to get those Marvels. Everyone's looking for the next spec book. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants that. Yep. So they tend to shy away from the ECs because they are getting more expensive now, especially this one with a recent Heritage auction on this. Just blew my mind. They're not really willing to spend that kind of money on these because, well, there's no movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, money am I going to get back from this? Like what you asked earlier, Earl, what's the investment? What do you think the investment is on that other book that was shown? So some fans are like, they shy away from them. But for those of us that are really into it, that are in that EC fan addict realm, we go nuts for these.
Can I interrupt you for a second there? And to anybody, in case if there's anybody new who's watching, who's new into comic book collecting, can you define the analogy EC? TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
I see there's a few people maybe in the chat, or a couple people like TJ Slabdragon. He knows what EC is. He has some great ECs. I've seen a couple of them on Instagram, and I'm sure there are several others. I follow a bunch of people on Instagram that have ECs. I forget some of their names, but outside that, they're not. You usually don't see them as much.
Yeah.
The same thing with other PreCode horror books, which are crazy to get nowadays, like Black Cat Mystery and Mystic and all those other ones that never even existed.
It was the EC comics that caused the whole thing with the Comics Code Authority eventually, right? Because he was the one, right? Max Gaines, he was the one that actually ended up.
Yes.
Let me show you. I'll be right back. Let me just reach over there. I'll show you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I think Paul, I think you're right about that. I think that's where it started. Let's see, Unruly Simeon right here. The 70s reprints introduced me to EC. Oh, I thought you had the answer. Entertaining comics. That's what I thought. Whoa! Put that back up. We got to see that again. That's a ghost right there. You just like.
That's the cover that was in the.
There were a couple that caught the attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
The government. But this one, it was famous because when I forget which senator or whatever held this up.
Yeah.
Said, do you think this is good for children? He said it's good for as a horror magazine. Yes, and he kept making excuses and all that stuff, and it just threw gas on the fire.
Could you imagine kids going home and saying, "Mom, look at the comic book I got today. Look at this."
But you know something though, this is one of the more tame ones.
I know.
I was saying, if you look at some other pre-codes that are not EC, there are a ton of crazy, bizarre bondage, decapitation covers. I don't know the titles off the top of my head that are far worse. I forget the one where a girl's being thrown into a sewer and someone's holding her head, and it's just amazing. But it's this one that really gets more of the infamy because it was on that trial.
Yeah.
Imagine that coming home. Hey, look at this!
I got
a little reading, a little light reading here today.
It's tame. A head cut off. It's tame.
And especially with like a lot of the with zombies and stuff. I mean, we got Black Cat was at number 5. You know, with the exploding uranium.
That's Black Cat 50. Yeah, that's a
Black Cat 50.
book.
Thank you.
That's book.
Yeah. So like, if back in the day, if little Johnny coming home with a pre-code comic book, like, what the hell is this kid reading? Can you imagine?
Just don't hold radium in your hand or something like that. I guess that's what you could say. Like, this is what happens when you hold radium in your hand.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
ridiculous.
Don't do that, kids. Just
Hey
don't do
Anthony,
that.
do you have any of these those the horrific covers? The Don Heck, the bullet in the head cover, and that'd be a cool book.
Yeah,
to find.
like I said, those. I mean, I recently picked up one pre-code horror outside EC, but they are just so hard to get,
Yeah,
and they're
just tough
very,
to
very
find.
expensive. I know exactly what you're talking about. The horrific. There's quite a few awesome horrific covers, but
Yeah, I picked
not going.
I picked
that
up
realm.
a decent, decent for those era, the early '50s. Those Atlas books are like impossible in any kind of condition. But I had a Mystery Tales of 19, the zombie cover, which is but it had one of the corners was missing, but it was still a solid book. So they're just impossible to find.
Was it Eerie #1, the first one, as far as like the horror book, like as far?
I think so.
The Dracula, Eerie #1.
47, I think that was Erol.
Yeah, 1947. I think it is Dracula on the cover.
That's a. I remember as a kid being 12 years old watching the movie in school, like the black and white Nosferatu. You know, they got the hands and that was creepy as hell. That was watching
that movie's going to be 100 years old next year.
Yeah,
that really creeped me as a kid. You see the guy in the bed and he's going like this in the shadow like this. He's coming at him. It's like, get the.
It always creeped me out at the end of Salem's Lot when he's ready to drive the spike room and he wakes up. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I saw that when I was like, 8, 10 years old. Don't ask me how.
Nightmares.
Yeah, no doubt.
good stuff. So we already passed a half hour here. We're at the 36-minute mark. Again, to everybody who's here, thank you so much for watching. Man, we're about to go through the first round. I got to go first, but man, what a first round we just had here. So I said I was going to show you guys a book that I've had raw for a long time, and Paul, you probably know what it is, man. But I've been recently thinking about getting slabbed because it's just in such nice condition. But I have here an Amazing Spider-Man number 50.
Oh, I love that book.
This is the first appearance of Kingpin. And so, does anybody want to take a guess on how much I paid for this book?
What's the condition?
Oh, I know.
Tough to beat free.
Tough to beat free. So I got this book for free. So to anybody who doesn't know, I work for a TV studio. A gentleman who comes and records a show at the studio where I record my show as well was also a comic book collector, and he had quite the collection. I've seen his collection before, and this guy maybe I think like 2 or 3 Daredevil #1s or something. So this was like about 4 or 5 years ago going on now. He told me that one day when he came into the studio that he was going to sell his whole entire collection, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think you would regret it. And so he comes in one week. He goes, I did it. And I go, well, you did what? He goes, I sold my entire collection. This guy had file cabinets of old Marvel books, right?
Wow.
And so I was just like, oh, man, like, how much did you get them for? He's like, I got $7,500 for everything. I was like, oh. And that was cheap for then, okay? Like, but, like, he had some pretty killer books, you know what I mean? And so he's like, yeah,
Kevin,
I sold.
I'm sorry, but you're in New England, correct?
I am.
I'm in Rhode Island. I don't know.
Yeah. I was going to talk to you after that at the show. Maybe we should go hang out.
So this was a local. Heavy hitter local.
This was the time capsule, if you know where the time capsule is.
Oh, okay, Rob. Yep.
Yeah, the time capsule bought it. And he goes, so I sold everything. And I was like, dude, I don't know, man. I think you made a mistake. He's like, well, I know you're a comic book guy. You're a huge Spider-Man guy. I saved one book for you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he had this like leather satchel, and he just pulls this out. And he's like, here, man, you can have this. And I was like, dude, like, you sure? Like, this is a pretty big book. And he's like, yeah, just have it. You're a huge Spider-Man fan. Just keep it. And I'm going through over the thing, and the thing is, the book is pretty clean. I mean, it's got a couple spine ticks, whatever. The back of the book was pretty bad. It had like pencil all over it, but I got that taken care of. with a press and a fantastic cleaner. So ever since then, like, you know, I show it off and people are like, dude, you need to slab that thing. You need to grade that thing. And I'm like, yeah, but I really like it raw. You know, I like that the book is raw. He's like, no, you need to preserve it. You know, you just slab it. So I've still been sort of on the fence for it.
You can preserve it raw, bro. You're good.
Yeah. But
Books from
yeah,
the Mile High collection in the 9s, and they were like stacked on top of each other without bags and boards. So I think you're good.
I think I'm good too. Like I said, I pressed it, and the person who pressed and cleaned it did a fantastic job. When I sent it in, I mean, I did a video on it of the before and after results. And if you saw the back of the cover, like, you know, I sent it to him like, hey man, like if there's anything you can do about it, thank you. But if not, no big deal. I'm not like looking for like a miracle here. And that he performed a miracle. He got a good amount of pencil off. So
that is the most undervalued book for the longest time. Like that was probably the most pronounced Romita book ever. The cover alone, the story itself, like I don't even know how that book is still like it's still obtainable right now, which is fine. But how it's passing by people like this book is iconic. Like
yeah, and it's one of those covers that I've always really loved. I mean, it's a classic cover, and to be honest, if it weren't for him giving me that book, I don't know if I would have it today. I don't know if like I would want, because I don't collect a lot of Silver Age Spidey, to be honest. There are some other books that I would like to collect in that era. But you know, it can be an expensive books. But I mean, I'm very happy to have that book.
Spidey's an expensive game.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I haven't even thought about dipping my toe in Golden Age yet. So we have Morbius Comics with the classic and the damn Unruly Simian 7.0 to 7.5. I don't know. It is
a little nicer than that, but
it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. So
8.5 would be almost 10 grand that book.
Damn.
Yeah.
TJ, Kevin, get that to CGC yesterday.
That book's got a lot going for it, though. You know, in addition to the like first Kingpin's one thing, it's like even if it wasn't the first Kingpin, just that cover alone, you know, I mean, it's
beautiful.
just an iconic book.
Classic cover.
It really is. It really is.
Beautiful.
All right, so we're 42 minutes in. Let's get a second round in, starting with Paul. What's up?
Okay, I want to do semi-random. I'm going to give you guys a choice. You guys can I'll do either a first appearance or I'll do what is my candidate for the most boring Batman cover ever. Which one?
No, first appearance. First appearance.
Yeah, but I got you wondering now. what that most boring comic cover is, though, don't I?
Yeah, I want to see that Batman.
This is Green Lantern number 59.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is the first appearance of Guy Gardner. This is kind of went away for a while. People really didn't notice it for a longest time. Now it's kind of recently come back into favor again because of the Guy Gardner is going to be one of the main Green Lanterns in the Green Lantern series on HBO Max. But Guy Gardner has probably one of the most convoluted histories of any hero in DC Comics. You know, they've made him alien. They've done pretty much anything. They made him basically a joke for a while on Justice League International. But he's one of my favorite characters, obviously because he's a Green Lantern. But this is one of my favorite books as well. So
cool.
Beautiful.
Wait,
Nice
so
book.
you're a Green Lantern fan? I would have never known.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Would have never
Nothing
guessed.
gets by you, Kevin.
Well, I am only. Hold on. I am only the world's greatest detective.
There you go.
That's got to be one of the top 5 Green Lantern books, right? I mean, that's got to be one of the.
Yeah, I think
76.
76, which is the first Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil. That's probably the most popular. But now the John Stewart one, which is 87, is probably one of the second ones now, and then that's got to be probably in the top, in the top 5, like you say.
Yeah.
So.
Number 7 is that first Sinestro or somewhere around there. I'm not much of a DC guy, but I know that was a hot book a while back.
the Golden Age and Silver Age meet up with the origin of the Guardians. I just picked that one up, and that's a classic cover.
Yeah, that was big when Crisis on Infinite Earth came out, because that was supposedly the genesis of the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, that's right. That's a nice book, man. That looks like high grade too.
Yeah.
Cool.
I might send it up to CGC if Kevin will send his.
All right, we'll do it together. Let's make a pact, Paul. Let's make a pact. Let's go. I alone just have to make a paid account to CGC. I just have the free one where I just meet them at cons and I drop off my shit, and then I kind of forget about it. So I even have to get the paid account. So, but I do have some books. I have one book that I want to get pressed and cleaned. It's slabbed. I love this book to death. It's sort of low grade, but it was signed on my birthday. So it's a Godzilla #1, and I love Godzilla. So, I wanted to get a 9.8 in the book, but I kind of just settled for the 7.5 because it was signed on my birthday. So I was like, yeah, I'll take this over 9.8 any day. But I have a couple of books to get pressed and cleaned. I got a couple of books that I want to get reholdered too. All right, continue on. Errol, what do you got?
You guys want to see a big one?
Yeah.
Always.
Not saying anything.
All right. This is a book I've been hustling for 9-10 years now. Anthony knows this book very well.
Oh boy, I think I know. Here it comes.
Everybody brace yourselves.
Is this the book that you convinced me to get a couple of years ago too? Okay, I'm ready.
I've been hustling this book for about 9-10 years. I've had in total, probably in the past 8 years, 16 copies. 16.
Whoa.
I was obsessed with it. I would be going to bed each night going, I got to get another one because this is iconic. This book is like something that no one's ever seen before. Why is it so undervalued for so many years?
Sounds like somebody I know.
So I kept on going. I kept collecting them, and then I put it on my bed, which you've seen, Kevin, on the bed. And I had more, but I couldn't fit on the bed. It was just too many of them. I looked back, I stood on it, and going, "That's incredible! Look at that!"
No, that's amazing. You missed the amazing run.
Amazing. So what I did was I said, I had so many of them. I calculated so many of them, and eventually I said to myself, these are leverage. There's only 3 books out there that's got leverage over every other book out there. You've got Superman 1 or Action 1, Detective 27, Batman 1, or AF-15. These books trump everything else. So leverage-wise, you can't top them unless you got AF-15 for, say, Superman 1 or Batman 1. They're all equal level now because the way they're iconic. So I took everything I had and said to myself, you know what? I want to pull the most ultimate trade of my life. So
He traded his soul, everybody.
I did. Yeah.
Mephisto.
Oh. Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. My goodness.
That's nice.
That's beautiful, Errol. Such a sweet copy.
Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. Let's all come on. Yeah, he deserves it.
Crack
Come
that
on.
thing open.
Centered. It's
Damn.
nicely centered too, because that book usually is not nicely centered.
No,
I mean,
plus there's a date stamp on the back there. See the date stamp?
okay.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Whoa.
Was
Next
it
time it's my turn, I pass.
Yeah, I'm supposed to follow this shit.
None of us could follow Errol.
No, I can't follow that.
There's no winners, everybody, but Errol clearly just won.
So that was like 10 years of my life grinding and hustling. And you know what? The way I see this is, as you're a collector, as we all are collectors, we have a mountain to climb. And there's a certain point where you climb a mountain and you go to a certain point and saying, you know what? I can go higher than where I'm at. So if you got the means to do it, like don't get me wrong, it's great to I gave up a lot of books for this book here. I gave up a lot of key Amazing Spider-Man books, but it was so well worth it. But I already have those. I had those books. The memories that can never be taken away from me because the way I've collected them synonymously to get Ultimate Mountain book. So to me, it's okay to let go, say 30 books that I had, because when it comes down to it, I don't want to have long boxes and long boxes and long boxes that my wife has to worry about in my age down the road, because at least this one here can synonymize just for one instead of having to worry about so many stuff out there. So this to me, it actually like balances itself out. Like I love having all this stuff, but eventually all this stuff becomes money. So it's no brainer for me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you just like you said with selling all those other books, you know, with those, if we're talking about investment points here, which, you know, will those books ever make up what that one book could be an investment?
That's the thing where I had I'll tell you a few things I let go. I let go of Amazing Experiment #1 annual 7.0s off white pages. I bought that for $1,000 only. That was like 4 years ago. These were cheap back then. I was always looking for Amazing Spider-Man Ditko books with white pages. Mid-grade was the one where they always had the most growth to it. So I was being very, very synonymous of my collecting. I wasn't ever thinking that I was going to get this book, but when the opportunity faced me, I said, you know, I was looking for a 5.0 book to upgrade my other books, but I was presented with, I got a 7.0 book. Would you like to trade for that book? And I stood back. I didn't even take 2 seconds to hesitate, saying, you know what? Done. I will give you my soul. I'll give you my brain.
Wait, was it anybody I know you traded it with? Like one of the big boys?
Wow.
Who's
Evil.
trading that?
Evil.
Who's giving that?
I've traded probably 15 Amazing Fantasy 15s the past 8 years. 15 of them. This is my 16th copy now.
Wow.
15. I've had so many of them. It's like, I remember I got to the point, you guys will probably think I'm crazy, but I got to the point of I had so many copies, I was going, I'm getting bored.
Damn.
Well, didn't you trade one?
I'm not bored over here. I'm not bored.
Errol, didn't you trade one for a Detective 168?
I did actually, yes, too. That was 68.
I love that book, Detective 168.
Yes. I always, like I said, this book here is the king of the mountains. So you could always like leverage it towards anything else out there. So to me, wise, when I collected them all, it was never to hoard them so many to say, look at me, look at the collection I have. It was always use it for leverage where if I wanted something else, like say a high grade X-Men 1, which I have, like already have one. But if I wanted something, I could always say, you know what? I could use that for that book. I could use it for that book. Because for me, wise, to have like say 10 or 15 copies, it's nice to have, don't get me wrong. But I'd rather have the high grade 1 book because eventually in time, it's just going to keep multiplying in price wise because these higher grades are not easy to come by.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of lower grades are easy to come by. It's fine. But when it comes to the higher grades, you get these high-end collectors are going, I want the higher grade because I know the potential to it. It was never about the money-wise, the potential. It was just to test my skills of how high I could keep pushing it. It's almost like a challenge yourself, which is great. Everybody should do that. Challenge yourself to become this, to that.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I'm kind of like in this, at this moment of comic collecting right now, where I'm trying to, if able, I'm trying to get rid of books, modern books especially, that are in the 9.0s and 9.2s and trying to get them at least to a 9.4. So selling the older book I have, using that money and trying to get the other book. But yeah, no, I'm seeing myself doing that right now. So and
we changed as collectors. Like I remember like collecting as even 5 or 6, 7 years ago, I had a different mindset. Your mindset keeps constantly like evolving. It's almost like you're like maturing more and more and more. And then you're saying to yourself, do I really need these 15 or 50 books? Do I really need them? I've had them for so long. Maybe I could part with them and get something else because you can never get rid of the memories. I always have them. I appreciate them, but to always have them, you know what? If I want something else, like I always get an omnibus book if I want to, but I've had them already. So to me, it's always like I said, the journey to where you want to go to, that's impeccable for me.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much for showing that. Anthony, so I know you said you're kind of pressed on the hour in the chat. Did you want to go? So in case if you have to go within the hour, you just can.
I could just do one quick one. I don't want to hold up the other guys, you know.
If that's what you want to do, we'll do that because I know you kind of pressed for the hour. So
yeah, my son, you know.
Yeah. No worries.
I have one here. I have Fantastic Four. Almost dropped it. Fantastic Four #7. Now, I've always loved this cover. I love the spaceship. I just like the way it's presented. But
Wait, there's more.
that I thought, well, it's not that I thought I never would have. I just never really considered it. There's something else about this book that's a little special that I'm going to show you that I did not show in the haul video when I first released this. Let me see how I can do this. It's a nice shape. It's probably like a 5.0, 5.5. But what makes it even nicer is, let me see if I can hold this correctly.
Oh boy.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Is that
Wow, that's awesome, bro. Great book.
early single-digit FF book? Not bad shape. Like I said, it's 5.5. You know, I usually don't go mid-grade with these because they're very expensive. But I was able to do it this time. But to get a Jack Kirby on a Fantastic Four,
Yes, yeah, that's
absolutely.
Sign me up.
I'm not much of a signature collector, but Jack couldn't pass up a Jack Kirby.
Make an exception for the king.
I am though.
I'll make an exception for the king.
Absolutely.
But that's why I think this one's even more special.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. And look, as I was about to say it, Morbius Comics stole the words right from my mouth. Great book.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great book.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Dan, your turn.
All right, man. I can't. I just got like super modern stuff, but
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Competition. Yeah, it's not a
Oh,
competition.
good, brother. That's what you collect. That's what you collect.
People want to know about those books too.
That's right.
I pulled this one. I recently made a video on my channel about my top 5 favorite books, and this one almost made the cut. This was an honorable mention. This is Immortal Hulk #1 by Al Ewing.
Oh yeah.
This is a run that really made me actually care about Hulk. I always kind of looked at Hulk as this kind of big dumb green guy that smashes. But this I don't know if you guys have read this run. This is these are all Alex Ross covers, which are incredible. He's probably my favorite artist. And then this is a homage cover, and I'm not sure which Hulk issue it is, but I just picked this one specifically because, man, this Immortal Hulk run is dark, and it really kind of like it made me actually, is Hulk my favorite superhero because of just like what is going on in his mind, all these people, these personalities trying to push its way to the front, and it's like it made me think about my life. It's like, you know, how many, I mean, I have my work personality, I have my home personality, I have my, you know, friends personality. And I'm like, wow. I mean, like, I feel like I'm more like the Hulk than anything. And reading comics, like I know a lot of people see themselves in Peter Parker, you know, I feel like Peter Parker. Well, the Hulk is just, I don't know, like,
do you feel angry, Dan?
Yeah, I feel angry. No, it's like
would we not like you when you're angry?
No, none at all. I got the green shirt on and everything. But it's like I don't know. Have you guys read this, Ron?
No, but I hear nothing but amazing things about it. So
yeah, it's horror.
The ending was incredible.
Yeah, like it's like a head scratcher, and it's it kind of gets into those religious themes. He quotes scripture in the beginning of the book, and it's Job. And I don't know if you know Job from the Bible. He's persecuted. God tests him throughout, and then he still holds true, and he still believes. And the whole, I'm not going to spoil this, but it's this is an excellent run. It's 50 issues. It's over. It's concluded. They're already on to the next Hulk. I think Cates is doing it.
Yep, Cates and Ryan Otley.
Yeah. Hulk is, I don't know, like I just looked at him at face value, and I had no idea there's so much depth with him that you can go so many places. And I'm hoping the MCU explores that, because we've only seen Hulk smash. We've seen, smart Hulk, science Hulk, but I mean, we got to get Red Hulk. We got to get Joe Fixit. We've got to get Gray Hulk. I mean, we've got to get all these different personalities. and he could be one of the deepest, most interesting characters in all the MCU.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
Mm.
Totally. Cool, man.
All right, listen, guys, I do have to get going. I apologize. It was wonderful joining you guys tonight. I'd love to join again. I had a great time chatting with you and showing off the books.
Cool.
And it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. But I apologize for having to cut out.
No, absolutely.
No worries, brother.
There's other things more important than comic books. But Anthony, thank you so much for stopping by, man. I really appreciate it, and you're more than welcome to jump in anytime. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care. Be well, everybody.
Great to meet you.
Take it easy, Ethan.
See ya.
Nice meeting you.
man.
Sure.
Cool. And Paul, your turn.
All right, let's go back. FF4 and
Ooh.
so this
I saw that one.
my earliest issue of Fantastic Four is number 4. Pretty decent copy. It's probably like a 5.0 or so.
That's nice. Beautiful copy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a book I always wanted. Obviously, back in the day, it was tough to find, and it was just always expensive. At least,
Beautiful.
you know, what I thought was expensive 30 years ago, I guess. It would have been much cheaper back then. But so yeah, just just another Stan Lee, Jack Kirby classic, kind of reintegrating a golden age character into the silver age. I always love this issue. Human Torch controls his flames and he burns the beard off of Namor. He's got amnesia and he's basically living with like hobos. He doesn't know who he is. Human Torch recognizes him, but he's got a long beard, so he ultimate control with his like flame. He just burns the beard off, and he's like, and then he still doesn't know who he is. So he brings him, he throws him in the ocean to like revive him. And then that gives him his memory back, and he then of course he wants to conquer the surface world right away. So he he goes right back into Namor mode. But it's just a great book. I mean, these early FFs are like impossible to get, especially in decent condition. And if you do get them, they're ultimately usually pretty expensive. So I'm very happy to own that one. I've had that book a few years. So
Beautiful.
I never was a big FF guy as a kid. I wish I was. I wish I was. I went from SpiderMan to X-Men, so I kind of skipped right over the FF. And as the older I got, the more I appreciated Kirby's kind of art, and that I started trying to pick those books up, here and there. But like everything else, these last few years, the prices have just been, astronomical. So
wasn't that the issue when Human Torch goes flame on? Is that the issue? He says that? Is that the one?
I thought that was 3, but it could be this issue.
I think that was the issue. Someone mentioned to me, he says flame on. That's the one where that's the issue. I think that's the one.
Might be. Yeah, he has some fight with like the rest of the team. So Johnny goes to stay in like a flop house, and that's where he sees Namor, who doesn't know who he is. He's got like a long beard and he looks like a bum with long hair.
That's a cool story.
It's pretty crazy how he perfectly grooms him with his flame, just one finger. And but Namor still doesn't acknowledge who he is. He doesn't remember, so he has to fly him to the ocean and throw him in, and then it's like the ocean water revived his his memory and stuff. So
who's that bum? Who's that bum panhandling downtown? Who's that bum?
Little did they know the powerhouse that was. Could lift up buildings and cars and stuff. He's living like a bum.
So now I might get some hate for this, right? So Fantastic Four has never ever been my cup of tea. Every time when I was a kid reading my Spider-Man books, especially my older books, anytime the Fantastic Four appeared in my Spider-Man book, I was like, not these guys, man. Get these guys out of my comic book.
Yeah, no, when I was a kid, I thought they were corny too. I mean, I was reading Burn X-Men, and then even early 90s Jim Lee X-Men stuff, Chris Claremont, it was great stuff. And then looking at these corny FF guys, it just wasn't wasn't my cup of tea. But now in retrospect, it's, I guess, next to Spidey's probably supreme. But as far as classic issues, first appearances, just key moments in comics, I mean, FF is right at the top.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It was the first book that Marvel published that was superheroes again. Fantastic Four #1.
Yep. No, if anything good came out of Fantastic Four, it's Black Panther, Silver Surfer, Galactus. That's probably about it for me.
No, hold on. Can't find it. This is the best thing to come out of this thing.
Yeah, and Doctor Doom. Yep.
Dr. Doom. Yep.
Dr. Doom.
That's gorgeous.
Yes. Doom's one of my favorites. So
I really like how you store your books, Paul. I like that a lot. That's a great system you got there.
Yeah. So again, this is just the two clear boards in between the MyLight, and then just to keep, because if any of you guys know that use the MyLights, these scratch real easy. So if you slide it in and out a lot, it'll start to look like shit after. So then I just put it in the top loader just to kind of keep it, just to hopefully protect it. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite books. I mean, and I lucked into this book. I could never afford it. So it's almost as good as your Spidey 50 story. It's almost free.
Almost free. Shy by $5. Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. So we are past the hour. To anybody who's watching, live or on the rewind, thank you so much for making it here. I appreciate you all. At some point, we got to, I think, 13 people watching at one time, which is very cool. I really appreciate that, guys. And if you guys have not liked this video yet, please do so. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and if you want to see future What's That Comic Book live streams, and comment in the video, some of your favorite books that you saw today. What were some of your favorites? That would be awesome. And don't forget to go in this video's description, click on those links, and follow these guys on their social media platforms. I just want to take 1 minute before we go to kind of circle around the panel, and so they can tell you guys about their channel, what they got going on, or anything they got on their Instagram. So, Paul, what do you got going up?
Well, we have coming up this Wednesday, we should have technically what is our second episode, but the first one that people will be able to see of Guess That Key. I'll have a panel on, and it basically is going to be just each person is going to be able to bring a key, and the other panelists will ask 10 yes or no questions, and at the end of the 10 yes or no questions, everyone gets a guess as to what they think the key is, and then we'll let the people watching do that as well. So we're going to be doing that, and I'm going to be trying to do that at least every other week. But we're going to hopefully have our second episode again this Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern. Cool.
Erol, what do you got going on, man?
I don't have a channel just yet, but I'm probably thinking about maybe doing one next year sometime. Like I'm just
You're on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram. You can find me always on there. I'm posting some pictures. I'm doing some stuff on there, so I'm always around. So, but as far as doing a YouTube channel, I might maybe possibly, like I said, do one next year sometime. Just keep it real, like this channel here. Just talking about comic books, why we collect it, why we love them. No speculation, things like that, because it becomes too stressful for people to if you're gonna collect the comics, just collect it because you love them. Don't be stressed out on what books not to get, what books to get. It becomes too much work, and you don't want to do that. Just make it a fun hobby, like I've done for the past 20 plus years, and you'll go a long way by doing that. Just love the hobby, love what you collect, and just keep it simple.
Cool. Dan, what you got going on, man?
All right, so I'm going to be doing some complete run videos coming soon. I have big runs of Hulk, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man. I'm going to go through every single one of my issues I have in kind of like a first-person perspective and do some of those videos. Also, I'm going to be at Charlotte. There's going to be a comic show there in Charlotte next month. I think it's December 12th. If people are in the community, there's a couple guys that are in the community that have setups there. Hit me up. I'd like to meet some people, trade some stuff potentially. So that's where I'll be December 12th.
Cool. Awesome, man. And Paul, what do you got going on? I know you're on Instagram.
Yeah, mostly Instagram, to be honest. Yeah. I do have a YouTube, but it's I don't really have much going on in there, so we keep it mostly to IG. Although I am on my brother Morbius Comics, who's been in the chat here all night. I appreciate him. He's got a YouTube channel, and I do co-host on his show sometimes called Comic Relief. So anybody that's watching, if you're not already, definitely go sub him up. tackle all kinds of topics. Kind of like Erol was saying before, you know, we just real comic collectors talking about the comics we love and stuff. There's really no speculation talk. There's none of that. So we just basically, you know, buy the comics you love and you won't ever, you know, really be disappointed that way. So, but mostly just IG. That's all I'm on.
So if people want to see your comic book collection grow, just follow your Instagram then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, I've meddled around on YouTube, but it's
Yeah.
not you know, eyeball worthy.
I think it's eyeball worthy. Well, your
I
IG.
I think Erol though should wear a GoPro next time he makes one of those amazing fantasy trades. I would love to see that from like first person view. You know what I mean?
Cool. All right, guys.
Set that up.
So we're going to wrap it up here. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out these guys' channels and their pages on Instagram. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. If you guys would like to be a potential guest on What's That Comic Book, you can find me on Instagram at KarateKevin67, or you can email the show at superpowerreview9@gmail.com. I'm Kevin Vidini for Superpower Review, and I hope you guys have a fantastic night.